This is a dumb video. I fully acknowledge that this is a dumb video. This doesn't need to exist. Some would argue that it just shouldn't at all. But it does, and now I'm sharing it with you. Oh well, let's sample some cows. So I had the idea to see if I could take a cow sound and turn it into an electric guitar. I don't know how I decided that that was deemed worthy of a video, but we're here now, so why don't we do it? So the first thing we need to do is download a cow sound. That'll work. Okay, so once again, here's our sound, and I think I'm going to use this first one here that I played. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, pull it down to where the track regions are, and then go into a sampler. I'll use the optimized one. So now we pull this up in the sampler, and I don't need the entirety of the sound. I just want the part where the sound is the most stable, so I can pull a real note out of it. I have my MIDI controller here plugged in, which means I can now play the cow as a piano. The first thing I like to do when working with samples is try to find the pitch as best as possible. If we listen to our original sample here, that kind of hovers around a G, so I'm going to set it to a G and then pull it right back down to 0 cents. That will kind of make our cow a little more in tune, make it a little more easy to work with. I don't need this beginning part here, so we will cut it just about there. So now when we play it, there's more of a transient to start with. And then I don't need this ending part either, so I'm going to pull this right down. There we go, that's a pretty stable note that we could work with. Now what I'm going to do is click this X here, and we're going to set it to loop, and we're going to alternate so that it goes back and forth so that we can now hold it out for as long as we need to. And now that we have that held out, the issue is that you hear this clicking whenever we hit the end of where our loop regions is. So I'm going to pull this right here and make just a slight bit of fade. It's still kind of there, but you can make it a little longer. There we go, much better. Now we can play the sample on the piano like any other instrument, and it'll sound in tune and lovely. Okay, lovely is kind of a strong word, but you get what I mean. But it still doesn't sound very guitar-y, so let's keep working. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come down to audio effects, amps and pedals, pedal board. First thing I'm gonna do is add some distortion in there. Maybe we just use this first one. There's no real rhyme or reason to what we're doing. I'm just kind of experimenting with different sounds, and then we can throw some more fuzz on it. Cool, so once we do some experimenting, we'll see where we end up with it. All right, so I've been playing around for a little bit, and I ended up coming up with this sound. Which is dirty, gritty, and I kind of love it. Now to process the sounds, the first thing I did was add pitch correction to all 3 of the tracks that involve the cows. That's just to make sure that everything is as in tune as it could get. Next I added the pedal board, and each one has a different chain. You can see this one has overdrive and fuzz on it. This one has just the fuzz on it. Processing each track differently makes it feel wider when it's in stereo. Finally, this one down here is playing everything in unison with the other 2, except this one is an octave under and is acting as the bass. Finally, each track has its own EQ that's just there to clean up certain frequencies. So while I was making that sound, I had the even more cursed idea to play the classic, beloved song, Carry On, Wayward Son, with the cows. Do you get it? I'm playing cows with cows. This is the worst video I've ever made. Then, I added the MIDI for Carry On, Wayward Son, and this is what that sounds like. Alright, so I've programmed the MIDI now. Let's listen to it. I am so sorry for what you're about to hear. after that, I feel like I should be asking you to unsubscribe. But I'm not gonna. If you like the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. And I'll catch you guys next time for something better. Like, I promise it will be better.